everybody. Welcome to the Work in Progress podcast. I'm Rachel.
I'm Dale.
And I'm Tubbs.
And I say
Today
and a lot.
is podcast.
Yeah.
Every time I don't know what to say, I just say and as if something else is going to pop up. But
Luckily, I talk a lot, and I'm like, and I jump in.
But you dropped the ball on that one.
Like, I did so bad. Well, I was trying to unlock my phone.
Oh.
We have some topics for you guys today.
But first, I have a random question for you guys.
Rachel has a random question for us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
you mentioned
I
this
don't-
question, but you didn't say what the question was.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I asked you guys this or not. I usually ask people this quite a bit if I met them for the first time. If you
6.5
could,
inches. What?
if you could go back in time and witness an event, what would it be? Not participate, just witness. What would it be?
Wow.
The first thing that comes to mind to me, and I don't know why, is Pompeii.
Really?
Yeah, because of all the stuff
That's interesting.
all the stuff that's buried there.
Ooh.
But it'd be horrible to witness it. But I don't know.
Huh.
So much history's come out of there.
Man, I don't even know. But you, Rachel, I'll think. You didn't think about it. You just thought of the question.
Well,
Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah. The making of.
Since I usually change the rules on my random questions, let's see.
Let me list 27.
The landing of the supposed UFO at Roswell.
Ooh. Dang, that's
Yes.
a good one.
That is a good one. Dale
I
does
know.
not have that one now.
What
Nope.
you got now?
I've got nothing.
That's a good one. Well, it's also breaking it down to what do you think is like artistically or historically or just an awkward interest?
Just something that you have read or heard about in history, and you're like, God, I wish I could go back and see what really happened.
Well, yeah, that's a heavy question because there's a lot of.
I like heavy questions.
Beginning of the world?
Ooh.
That's a good one. The Big Bang.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying theory wise.
Yeah.
We're on the Big Bang.
Well, I would like to go back and find out for real.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It could be something that nobody in science or any kind of religion had ever thought of. Maybe
Yeah.
it was.
Some people have mentioned like
Some-
either like concerts, or I'm doing that thing again, or like baseball games or some sports event.
Yeah, I feel like, and those are kind of.
One person said Jesus on the cross.
I don't want to say.
I really want to see that.
I don't want to say topical, but I mean, those are not Jesus on the cross. I mean, I guess that's not really topical. But I mean, like, well, for events, like a sports game, there are like watching Babe Ruth play would be a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
Caesar against
the reason I
God.
said Pompeii is because one of the things that pops into my head is I remember reading a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
So and studying about it. I'm not a huge history buff, but I do like learning about history. I guess I think that's why, because it's one of the things that, like, there's some places there they don't excavate because they're scared that excavating or shaking the ground around too much would deteriorate what the research they'd be able to get out of it. So they're trying to do stuff with sonar where they can pass it over and see what's in there.
So mine was a conspiracy theory type situation. Do you guys have is there an event, like a conspiracy theory event that happened that you would like to go back and witness, say like JFK's assassination?
Yes, that's the first the JFK thing is because it's such a heavy one.
Yeah, it is.
The missing Watergate tapes.
So you could just walk around freely and try to witness as much as possible.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to be there when Admiral Byrd was in Antarctica to see, because he wrote some books about a book about apparently when he was flying around in his plane, he flew down into a big hole in the earth, and the earth was hollow. And so I'd like to see why he came up with that story. And I kind of personally doubt that it's true, but could be. Who knows?
Science knows.
Since I wasn't there, yeah. What did they say?
Theories.
Yeah.
I don't know what they say.
Whether it's
specifically.
conspiracy theory or scientific theory.
I think another one would be cool to witness is the building of the pyramids, because there's such
That would take a
That would
long
take a
There'd be
long
time.
fucking time.
well
You would do
to
it and
to
fast
see
forward?
how, because there's so much debate on how they built the pyramids. That way you can be like,
They have pretty good guesstimates.
I
how they
knew
did
it. I knew that they did this.
It sucked,
They
but
just
it's
ordered
like
them on
You
Amazon.
assholes! I knew you did it this way.
The pharaohs there. What a 2-day shipping my ass.
Or go on the Titanic. Ooh, something about to happen.
You know, it would be cool to watch the those heads, the Easter Island heads.
Ooh, yeah.
The whole because it's a whole
yeah.
body.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that island took a crap is because they were like, we got to make these things out of stone. They made them out of stone and cut down every tree to make rollers to roll them to where they were supposed to be. And they're like, hey, we don't got no trees.
Ooh, Atlantis. That'd be.
Yeah, but nobody knows exactly where it's at. So where would you be in that point in time?
Go back. What if you couldn't swim?
You would just hit the Atlantis
Google
button.
Atlantis and go.
Google, where's Atlantis?
I think if I could witness, not just an event, but and once again here changing the rules, a person, I would like to witness or just be around Tesla, just to see him creating these amazing things.
That would be cool.
Just so you know, somebody gives all the credit to this other asshole. Heads up. Because I remember what history was when I went to school and how Thomas Edison was the greatest person on the planet. And then as an adult, I read about Tesla. I'm like, why are we teaching? Thomas Edison did do a lot of great things. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying, but they always like, he was the first. Was he? Because it kind of seems like he wasn't the first.
And now you see Tesla's name everywhere.
Yeah. Like he even makes cars now.
Yeah, right. It's amazing.
Oh, I'd like to go back and see dinosaurs. That'd be cool.
Would you pet them if they weren't going to eat you?
Well,
You can see
if they
dinosaurs
were gonna
now.
eat me.
They'd be like, "Who's that?"
Really? Where?
Birds. You don't like that argument, do you?
No.
That is your worst. Like the look on his face. This is an audio podcast. Was that of derision?
That's a conspiracy theory to me.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's proven.
Is it?
Yeah. Very much so.
Prove it. Right now.
Seriously.
No, that's a good question. There'd be a lot of stuff to go see.
Yeah, there would be. What if you got like a year free pass?
Would you
Just
go witness
visit
your
anything?
birth if you had to? If you
I'm
could?
not a big fan of looking at my mom. vagina.
Well, let's say after she's holding you,
Nah.
No.
loving you.
Why?
Oh, my beautiful.
I knew awesomeness was coming. I don't have to watch it when it started. When we do an origin story about me in the future, yeah, I mean, whatever, bring it up. But
She's like, can we put it back?
this one's not done. I can tell by the way he smiles. I don't know. I don't know if I've witnessed any personal events in my life. That's a good question. Would you go to anything personal in your life?
No. I was there.
Yeah, but you could be there from the outside looking in.
Would you?
That'd be even worse.
Would you want to witness our friendship again? All three of us. How it started.
Not really.
Well, if
Oh.
we're playing fast and loose with the word friendship, yeah.
Oh, look at us.
Because he's my best friend. No, that is a good one, though. Now I'm just thinking of everything I want to see.
All right. There's a lot.
I keep covering my mouth, sorry.
Go back to your relationship. Don't do it.
Go back to other relationships. Definitely do it. This is not going to end last. Make it weird. It's going to be a story. Might as well be a good one.
I think it'd be cool to go back and see what my parents were like in childhood. I've heard stories, obviously, in pictures, but I think it'd just be cool to see.
Well, that's the comedian Michael Bigley, I think, sums that up really well. He goes, my parents are great people, but if I met them at a party, I wouldn't hang around them. And I think that pretty much describes everybody's parents. Like, you're cool, just not around me, per se.
Or witness when my sister cut my ear when she was trying to cut my hair. Oh, God.
Is that why your ear looks all weird? I'm just joking. I was thinking of something and it escaped me. Not like I wish I had like a piece of paper and a pad in front of me.
So, here's another random thing, and then we can get into topics. But was it? I don't know if I was telling. Yeah, we were all sitting around a table, and I was telling you that whenever I make a sandwich or something, I have to put. If I put mayonnaise on, I have to put the mayonnaise away, and then I put the meat on, and then I have to put the meat away. Like there's this the system that goes on. Like if I can't leave
Methodically.
Yeah, I can't leave things sitting out. It just freaking bugs me. Do you guys have anything like that? Or am I the only?
I don't know. I usually kind of the opposite. I pull everything out that I need and I set it all out in front of me in a certain order, and then I make the sandwich and I put everything away.
That's how I do it.
But do you have any like little thing or quirk or habit or
I don't know.
A quirk or habit that I have that's really bad, and I don't know why I'm like this, is I have flashlights. And I make this joke all the time. Well, I don't make the joke. I tell the story quite a bit.
That is weird.
I don't know why.
Nobody's got flashlights these days.
Yeah. Well, it's just odd because like me and my wife have like these weird conversations. Like what is it about I don't know. I've never been scared of the dark, but I've always liked having flashlights. So like I have flashlights in places. I'm like, where's my flashlight? Why don't you just grab the other one? Because that's for other stuff. Flashlights, not for what I need right now.
That's the kitchen flashlight.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's I guess a weird quirk.
Huh.
After you told me that the first time, I still went and bought a bunch of flashlights and I started putting them in random places.
It's nice to have them when you need them.
Yeah, it was a good point.
I'm really awesome. Is that
Keep
quirk?
tripping on these damn flashlights.
So many flashlights. I haven't seen a shadow in months.
I just heard what you said like 3 seconds after you said it.
That's cool. Weird
Well,
quirks. Dale?
I don't. A lot of times, if I'm just doing like just normal tasks, I don't even know how to explain it. Like if I think of something, I have to do it. Like
I think that's a good thing.
it's hard to explain though. 'Cause it could be something weird. Like I can't even think of an example.
I hope you think of one fast, because that is not going down a good path right now.
Huh?
Something real weird.
Sorry, I even brought it up.
Like pickles on peanut butter.
No, not like that. But like if it comes to I'm cleaning my house or something, if I think of if I'd be in the middle of washing dishes and I think about vacuuming, I will stop washing dishes and just start vacuuming.
wow.
Because I thought about it, so I had to do it. So it takes me a while. I go bounce back and forth. And it's kind of the same way with a lot of my art projects too. What I've been working on lately with my video, I'm trying to do a short story with the sculpture and everything, and it's been really difficult for me to do it because I keep trying to finish writing the short story, but then I also want to film the sculpture that I'm doing, and I don't know where to start, so I just keep bouncing back and forth.
Have you tried not to do it and one time just to see, or are you just going to drive yourself nuts if you don't go and do it?
Probably. Well, it's because when I'll start sculpting, and then I'll have an idea for the story, and I don't want to forget it, so I'll go back to write the story, and then be going through that, and then I'll come up with another idea for the sculpture and go back to that, and then, I want to edit it this way, so I'll upload it to my computer or download it and start editing it. And
you can make notes. Notes are cool.
yeah, but then I'll forget why I made the note.
Well, yeah.
It won't be the same.
I think it's kind of like goes into like inspiration the minute. Do you think it's something like that? Like you feel inspired to do something, so you're just gonna go do it?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
I think I've annoyed a couple of my exes because I do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, why are you doing this right now? Like, you don't have to do it right now. I'm like, you don't understand. If I don't do it right now...
Don't mess with my process.
I'm like, just let me do it.
Yeah. It's more healthy for you if I finish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, shall we get into topics?
Who wants to go first?
Not me, because I didn't think of a topic.
Dale first.
Oh, great.
Rachel, would you like to go first?
Sure. So, God, I need to stop that.
What? Oh.
God, snake. I asked Tracy.
Salmon super salad.
I asked Tracy if she had a topic idea, and she said,
"Who is this person, Tracy?"
Tracy is my friend and business partner at HSB Woodworks, and she.
HSB Woodworks on Instagram.
Yes, and she said, making art using new materials versus using recycled or refurbished items. And she read an article or watched something. I can't remember. Sorry, Tracy, but I do listen, but I forget. About this guy who made his own little island out of plastic bottles.
Yeah, I saw that dude.
Yeah, and it's pretty ingenious what he did. It's really cool.
Yeah, he puts them in those like the nets you use when you're like frogging or you're catching crabs or whatever. They're really super plastic, and he seals off he caps the bottles, and puts them under there. The funny thing is, I was thinking like those are going to deteriorate, and he's like, "They're not exposed to the sun." Have you seen it?
I don't think so.
The dude has palm trees on his island, and it's made of nothing but bottles.
Wow.
It's pretty bananas. But my mom was watching something about that.
So, and she's into using reclaimed wood, things like that. She really enjoys that. And so, I guess, do you think there should be more of a movement towards using reclaimed or recycled material versus going down and chopping a tree when there's wood kind of somewhere? Like, do you... I could be getting your topic wrong, Tracy. I'm sorry, but
I think it's a what you prefer to work with. I mean, there's going to be there's definitely a huge benefit to being able to go buy, time wise and resource wise, to being able to go buy the wood you need for the project you're doing. But there is a huge market, and I don't mean to get like money with it, but there's a huge market for people that want stuff out of reclaimed things.
well, let's go to the next topic. But yeah, the market thing.
But the thing is, like, the very first time I ever worked with really clean wood, I decided to try to make a chicken coop out of pallets. And I started taking them apart, and they are a pain in the arse to drill to run nails through. You have to pre-drill everything. So what I thought was going to be fairly easy work turned out to be really hard work because there's just so many different types of wood. It's a pallet. If it broke 3 strips, they'd just throw 3 new strips on. So there was different kinds of wood, different kinds of nails, different kind of everything. And if I were doing a smaller project where time wasn't an issue, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But I had chickens in a broder that needed to come out of there to go into the thing, and I'm like, this is the dumbest crap
They're
ever.
needy, huh?
So yeah, so I spent more on hardware than I would have spent on making a whole new chicken coop, which is what I ended up doing later the year after that, anyways, because I needed a bigger one. She got more chickens. So I mean, that's a perfect example. If you're doing something where you have time or you have a lot of, if it's the only thing you have to work with, I mean, a lot of times, before I ever started buying tools or my own lumber, or maybe when I didn't have money, I would use whatever was around me, which is really great because it's better to learn techniques on scrap wood because if you mess up, you can fix them. But as far as making stuff out of reclaimed stuff, there's definite moving from using newer wood to using only reclaimed wood. The great thing about wood is if you thin a little bit of it off, or if you trim a layer of it off, it becomes really nice looking. So I mean, I don't think there should be a movement that says, hey, let's get away from using new wood. But I don't think that people shouldn't be using reclaimed wood. I guess it's it's neutral to an extent, but I guess what I'm trying to say is there's space for both.
Yeah.
I don't see one outshining or outlasting the other. Maybe people make new stuff and want it to look old. I mean, I made a hanger for my wife. She wanted a hanger made for our bedroom, and I made it, and I picked. I think I showed Rachel it before I think it's actually on Instagram. But I showed it to Rachel when I had finished it, and it was this really pretty dark wood on the back that was from a strip of I don't know what. Really nice redwood, and I think I used the lighter parts of the redwood on another section, so it was all nice and mapped out. And I was about ready to oil it. This was the first time I would use oil. I was about ready to oil it, and she was like, "No, I want it painted white, and I want it to look old." I spent like an hour trying to find the perfect combination of how I was going to cut this wood so it looked great on here. And yeah, I painted it gray and antiqued it so it looked old as hell, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," But again, that's what she wanted, and it was all reclaimed wood.
Because you're an awesome husband.
Yeah, no. Boy, were you misinformed. But no, she that's what she wanted it to look like. And I mean, there has been stuff, and in her case, it wasn't like she's like, I want it to look old for no reason. The the frames we had above it had a weathered look to them, and she wanted it to match that as close as possible. So I mean, there was a reason for it in that particular case, but I don't like taking pretty work that I took a long time to put together and then just having it made to look old. Not that I have anything against that, just it's not my thing. But she liked the way it came out. She was really happy with it, so I'm pretty happy.
Cool. Well, that shelf behind you on top of the organ, that's out of reclaimed lumber. My uncle made that.
Oh, cool.
It's made out of wood if you can't see it.
Stain. Is it stain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he has a had a business, a woodworking business called Cass County Woodworks in Missouri, and they would go and there's a lot of old houses in Missouri where he's at, were from the 1800s and stuff that they tear down because people can't live in them anymore. So he'd go in and get as much lumber as he could out of them and start making stuff. He made a lot of cool stuff.
I think if you're in an area where you can get a bunch of reclaimed wood.
So, not here.
Yeah, exactly. Not here. So we kind of have to use new wood unless you want to use a bunch of pallets, or if they're tearing down an old house, which Tracy and then Liz, her wife Liz, went down and got some really cool old beams, an old door. I mean, there's a bunch of houses in this town that they could easily tear down. We could go and scrap a bunch of the wood, but they're just sitting there.
But see, that's kind of real quick. When we were talking about like, do you see art everywhere? Like, if you want to do stuff out of that, like, I'm always amazed that Tracy finds stuff like that. Like when she found the gym floors, the racquetball.
The
racquetball court
they
floors?
text us. They were like, "Hey, they're tearing this out."
Stuff like that. Like, if you want to find that, you do. Because I remember looking at them like, oh, I'd never find it. Yeah, you would if you just kept looking.
Well, it's amazing. Like, once we started advertising, like, "Hey, we're doing this woodworking business," and we weren't saying, well, to each other, we were saying it'd be cool if we put an ad in the paper and said, "Hey, if you're tearing down a shed or something, let us know. We'll come get the wood."
Your old wood.
Yeah, we'll come and tear it down for you, and we'll take the wood. But that was just conversation between us. But like once we started advertising, everybody's like, "Hey, I have this beam just sitting around my garage or whatever. Do you guys want it?" It's like, yeah,
We'll come
hell
pick it
yeah. So people, once they see that, do you want this or do you want that? Like, hell yeah. But once again, like, we don't live in an area where there are barns from the 1800s just out in somebody's field that they want to tear down. And
The barns they built here in the 1800s are shacks that already deteriorated.
so I think depending on the area that you live in, or you're more fortunate to be able to reclaim that type of lumber, whereas down here you get mesquite and some pallets or whatever.
Yeah.
Which just
So
kind
you have to kind of work with new wood.
it kind of breaks your heart when you follow people on Instagram that are
Oh,
these
yeah.
folks and they're like,
Oh, my
went to
gosh.
a yard sale.
Yeah.
Like, those are like antique woodworking tools. Pick them up for $2.
Yeah, there's this there's this one guy we follow on Instagram. He posted a picture of like his trailer just stacked full of like this old wood, like from a barn. This wood is extinct, but he's like, "Yeah, just went and picked this up today, like no big deal." I'm like,
somebody to haul it off for him.
yeah. And I was like, man, don't see that happening here. I was like, wish I could have disliked it, but I can't. But I liked it. It was
Report
cool. Yeah. Huh?
You report it.
Yeah. But yeah, there's all kinds of back east, up north. Oh, I just got this today. Just going down the highway, no big deal.
It depends on your luck, because I was telling you about I started getting a little forge together, and I made a railroad track anvil. Well, I didn't make it. I mounted it onto a beam, and I was like, man, it'd be great to find an anvil. And my buddy's like, oh, I found this anvil, because he started in the same thing, and he's getting a gas forge built. Well, he had it built now. He has it built now, but at the time he was going to get one built, and he was just using a really small coal forge that he threw together. And he was saying that he found somebody that gave him an anvil, and they brought it, and it was a jeweler's anvil. It was 4 by 5 inches, tiny anvil. And he's like, well, that's not what I'm looking for. But he had this lady give him some Ferris rasps that are really, really named, like, because sometimes rasps are case hardened. These were all high carbon steel. So he's like, oh man. He's like, well, if you find an anvil, let me know. I'll come pick it up. She's like, actually, I think there's one on the yard you can come get. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be the same story. He went and picked it up. It's like a 200-some-odd pound anvil.
Wow.
Piece of shit. She's like, yeah, she just had it back there. She's like, no, take it. It's not doing anything but rusting. It's like, oh, nice story. I hate you. Do to me in your will.
No, wait. Don't people just drive by and give you shit?
People do. Which is weird, because he's trying to get hold of leaf springs, and I have buddies at off-road. So I was like, I'd like to get a leaf spring, and I was to actually run out to the dump. It was very serendipitous. I was running out to the dump to get rid of a bunch of old scrap wood. Some of the wood you had given me, that like the termites and stuff. I was like, oof. So since a lot of it had a bunch of junk on it, I cut it up into smaller pieces and loaded the truck up. And when I got the truck loaded up, he called me. He's like, hey, weren't you looking for leaf springs? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, roll by the pond on the way to the dump. So I don't buy there. It was me, my wife, and my son, and we jump up. He's like, I heard you were looking for leaf springs. I was like, yeah. And he goes, here, take these, and they're like 70s Chevy leaf springs. I was like, oh, those things are awesome. That'll be great. He's like, what are you doing with all that wood? I was like, I was about to take it to the dump. He's like, we need wood for the fire. We've been trying to run and collect little scraps wherever we can. I'm like, well, and my truck was loaded full of them.
Can't have it.
And he's like, oh, nope, it's already earmarked for the trash, sir. Sorry. But I emptied out all the wood, and he's like, oh, yeah, you might want this. And he went into the truck and pulled out another cracked leaf spring. And I was like, what? Because I explained to him what I was doing. He was like, oh, I thought you needed a new leaf spring. This one was good, but I bought both of them. So I put the 2 new ones on. So he was giving me the good one that wasn't broken, and in the cab of his truck, he had the one that was broken. I was like, sweet. And then another buddy dropped ones off from a Jeep. Somebody dropped one off from a trailer, and then Rachel dropped one off from a Jeep, I think.
Yeah.
Came over, he's like, I just wish I had like a one leaf spring. Yeah. Shut up, you have an anvil. And I sold my watch to buy you a brooch for your hair. I was like, do you want some of these leaf springs? Yeah, and he gave me some Ferris rasps. Didn't give me an anvil though. Just saying.
One of my favorite Instagram accounts that we follow, it's called Phoenix Creations, and I believe they're out of Australia. And what this person or persons, I'm not knowledgeable on who exactly, but they'll go to old house or something, whatever's in Australia, and
They have houses.
cool. And they'll get like a piece of trim or molding or whatever, and it's this beautiful wood that's been painted over, and they'll make a scoop or whatever out of it, and it's like, holy shit, like you would have never known that it was from like this piece of wood that was just sitting for decorative reasons around a house. So it's just like, just because something looks like trim or that looks like shit wood, give it a second chance, because it could actually be some really cool wood.
Huh. You can do a lot of stuff with shit wood. I remember, is it wormwood? Wormwood's the one they use for, which one's the one they use for mushrooms?
I don't know.
There's a wood they grow mushrooms on.
I can't remember.
And people make stuff out of it, and I'm like, it's the weirdest crap to make wood. It's really hollowed out.
Yeah,
it's pretty, but
yeah,
it doesn't
beautiful.
support anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, and I was looking at when my mother-in-law was at like one of those indoor flea market situations, and she took a picture and sent it to me. She's like, is this worth it? And I looked, and I was like, no. They wanted $1,200, and it was
wow.
basically a buffet with no drawer and two doors at the bottom. I was like, you're paying for somebody to the work is worth it, but what you're trying to get out of it's not.
Uh-huh.
And she came back. She's like, it looked beautiful. I'm like, if you wanted it, you should have gotten it. She's like, well, you said it was worth it. I'm like, I'm sure they put framework under it. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they did a trashy job. Based on the picture you showed me, I'm like, hey, somebody used like kindling to make a buffet.
Well, this goes into the next topic, and this is from your sister, Wilted Intentions.
From your sister.
Pricing new versus refurbished. So I think there is definitely a pricing on something that's new, like a piece of furniture, versus something that's refurbished. I can definitely tell, or kind of see like a difference between the two in price, because there's what's that show on HGTV, that flea market something?
They don't sponsor the show. Don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Flea market flip.
Yeah, where they go to those flea markets and they pick out random shit, and then they jack up the price by like $300.
The thing that annoys me the most to my soul is that they don't do the work.
They do.
They do a little bit of it, but they're like, hey, you guys are going to remodel this, and here are guys that do nothing but remodel stuff to help you.
Well,
it's kind of them doing it then, isn't it? I mean, it's their concepts. I get that part. Like, it is their concepts. They're a bit savvy with this or savvy with that. But sometimes I'm like, well, it's called flip, not have a carpenter remake you something and sell it. No, I think to get to what you're saying, when you make something new, you start with raw materials. When you make something out of something used, you have to make the raw material. Mm-hmm. And I think that takes a lot of time.
Oh, definitely.
Like Dale sells really expensive clay. Mm. If he were to sell a sculpture, because I'm pretty sure it's not that expensive when you buy the brick.
That's something I can't really recycle is clay. I don't know. I'm gonna need that back when you're done looking at it. I recycle. Well, I haven't actually used them yet, but my cat's whiskers.
Aw.
I chase them around the house and pull out their whiskers. No, they're always losing their whiskers.
Teach you to wake me up.
They're always. I got the ragdoll Maine Coon mixes, so their whiskers are like, some of them are like 6-inch
Jeez.
whiskers. So every time I find them, I put them in a little jar and keep them. I keep wanting to use them for a sculpture in case I do something. I've got a creature that needs antennas or something, but I can't really think of too many things.
If you're on a date that's not going out well, do you bring the jar up?
No.
Because I would do it so
Why?
fast.
Is it weird?
No, it's just a little bit weird. So yeah, it is weird. Just a little bit.
It's not weird, but
Well, no,
it's just a little
you
bit.
do it because you can make that into something.
Yeah.
But if I told you I kept my cat's toenail clippings, or I guess it'd be claw
That's
clippings.
different, though.
I know, but I'm saying it's just keeping. It has a weird sense to it.
Okay, well, forget I said that.
No, I don't mean to make it weird. I'm just saying that'd be crazy. Because I think I've seen the jar and I'm like, oh yeah, because well, you do the sculpture stuff and you use real stuff, so it's kind of.
I don't. Why
Well,
are you
some
talking to
people
me?
use like.
Well, I'm actually looking behind your head
Oh,
to the
okay.
sculpture that's coming soon on YouTube.
Work in progress.
A work in progress. They said the name of the thing in the thing.
Yeah, I've seen some people use feather quills, like they pull off the plumes off the feathers, and they use those as antenna, which is.
Yeah, and if you didn't know they did that, and you walked into a house with a dude that just had a bunch of different colored quills on the window, like, no, come in, let me get you some coffee. No, I'm good. I'll wait at the door.
I wouldn't.
What?
I wouldn't be weird to me.
Yeah.
But I guess one thing I recycle as far as artwork is like sometimes canvases and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll paint over something, but
I feel like a real asshole right now about that whisker comment.
I've accepted that I'm strange. So
I like you.
did I reverse topics?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Well, yes and no. I think we're bouncing between the two topics anyway, so I don't
Let it
think it
flow.
matters.
Let it go.
Yeah. Well, get back to second topic: pricing. New furniture versus.
Well, that's what I thought you were approaching it from. Is it?
Yeah.
How much is sentimental value worth?
Yeah.
The historical value's got to do something to it because you can buy it, like you said, a
By
shelf.
historical, do you mean who it belonged to?
No, the time.
Okay,
the
the
time.
time
Like,
period.
if I told you, hey, this chair's made out of beams from a chapel in Italy.
You're never gonna see this wood again.
Yeah, you're never gonna see this one again. Which I've said to ladies before. That's never happened.
They say that's cute.
I've always loved like Victorian.
Every time.
I've always loved Victorian style furniture, and that's a horrible thing to like because it's expensive.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I've seen that done on that show, the flea market flip, where somebody's like, "Oh, this is from Abraham Lincoln's childhood and when he learned the alphabet," or what. I'm like, do you really?
Sometimes have you ever like? We're talking like we've on the podcast we've talked about purists, about people that feel this way, but
Yeah.
it breaks my heart because I have messed up chairs. That's how you learn you mess stuff up, or you do something the wrong way and you figure out how to do it the right way. Knowing what I know now, which is not that much, it does break my heart when I see somebody like, oh, this is a Victorian style chair and blah, 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 blah. We're going to paint it bright green and throw some polka dot fabric on it. Like, why? It was so pretty. Mm-hmm. And not to say it's ugly now, but
it's horrible.
You remember how not cool guy? And somebody's like, yeah, I'll give you $900 for it. Do you hate life too? You guys should get together.
I think I've said this before. I don't know to you guys, but when somebody puts the term reclaimed or custom into something, that's an automatic. It's extra $100
so
at least.
Yeah. What was that motorcycle building show that was on back? Probably
Orange County Choppers.
Is that what it was? Or
something like that.
West
Describe
Coast
more
Customs. Those.
Oh, the one where they fix
the
cars?
word customs got so popular. Everybody's business that had something to do with making things.
And then
they
when
always
got
put the
tired of
word customs in it.
They put customs with a K.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
Everything was custom. But I guess it sold well because everybody's like, ooh, I get something that's custom for me.
It does, especially like with our cutting boards. They're like, well, what do you guys make? When I first started out with Art and Soul, I would say, well, I make custom cutting boards for people. Well, what do you mean by custom? Well,
Have you ever seen a show called Pimp My Ride?
And, like,
I will pimp your cutting situation.
yeah, so once you explain, like, okay, this is what custom means, like, this is
Yeah.
custom to you, and then you explain the pricing, they're like, ooh, that's worth it. Yeah, because it's making it for you.
That's where it applies, but I think a lot of people are just overusing the word, putting
Yeah.
it in their business names.
Yeah. But
Which
think,
I always thought it was funny. Speaking of the custom part, I always thought it was funny when they said it's a custom part. Okay, can I get it for my truck? We don't make it for your truck.
Customize
You
it.
said it was custom, and it doesn't fit my truck. Do
Yeah.
you see where I'm having a problem?
yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, you're saying.
No,
Oh, and the government had to go and start their business, the U.S. Customs.
Crazy kids in there. Federal laws. We love you, NSA.
I don't know what I was going to say.
Huh?
I can't remember what I was going
No,
to say.
he said we love you, NSA.
Oh.
I did say that.
Mm-hmm.
In case they're listening.
Do you have another topic?
Was that your two topics?
I was trying to, well, so I have my random topics, and then with the help of my friends, because I'm not creative with topics lately, they help me out. Do you guys have?
Well, my wife hadn't listened to one of the podcasts we had done before she asked, but she said, "What event or artist inspired you to do the art you do, or go down go down that road, the particular medium you picked, or whatever you do?" And we did cover it, I think, a couple of podcasts ago.
I think so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi.
But the one thing I was thinking of when she did ask that,
Thanks, sweetie.
is there anything like stepwise where you'll get to a point where you can see at this stage of my art, or at this time I was doing this and now I'm doing this because I saw this artist or because I liked the way this looked?
Well, yeah, I think it was the last one and the one before, like the woodworking. Making the cutting boards, I got into it because of a conversation I was having with my girlfriend at the time. And so that sparked the interest in pursuing that because I enjoyed it. So, but usually some of the things I do, it's from conversations with people of like, I wonder if I can make this. But, I mean, my paintings and stuff, that comes, and like I can get inspired by people, or if I see a photograph of something, I'm like, ooh, I want to make that my own style. But, you know, it's, what do you think?
What was the question?
Well, her topic was, what event or artist inspired you to do the art you do, or to go down the road, over on that road artistically. And what I said was, I feel like we kind of covered that, but when she said that, I kind of dug deeper into what it was saying and said, like, can you notice steps of, like, at this point I stopped doing this because I like this more?
I think the topic we actually covered that was similar to that was, at what point did you know, or was it in one of the last episodes?
It was something to that effect.
Something like that, yeah. But I don't know, for me, I think artists that inspired me was probably Todd McFarlane from the Spawn comics and the McFarlane action figures. I still have a lot of them, and the detail that he always put in his, I don't know if he sculpted any of them or not, but the detail that he puts in his characters and the action figures or collectibles that they put out was definitely very inspiring to me. Even when I was 10 or 11 years old, like every time I would go to the store, like Walmart or something with my mom, I'd always run to the toy aisle to try to find the Todd McFarlane toys just to look at them. I know I couldn't get any of them, but
Yeah.
I would always want to stare at them.
One day. How about you, Rachel? Or are you done, Dale?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
Now I am.
now. Sorry. You said no dead silence. You're going to play that jingle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, looking back at my childhood, I don't think I can well, if I can remember, specifically say what started me in art. I think I just picked up the pencil and started drawing, and it went from there. I think
A tale as old as time.
I know I was a huge fan
We're all
of.
being distracted by a cat right now.
She's so cute.
We already have a picture of you.
She's like,
Looking
whatever.
But let me jump in.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't-
gonna be a lot of that jingle playing right there.
Right? I know that I didn't really have any inspiration with the stuff I did since I was little. I like taking stuff apart. If it was broken, I put it back together. I think I've said that before. Don't worry, I'll say it again. But after that, it wasn't until I started realizing that because I was not good at school, but I didn't realize if you like a topic, you don't mind reading about it.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I started actually looking stuff up. And I think April bought me a book on how to make stuff out of 2x4s. Didn't make a single thing out of the book, but I did get an idea of how to use 2x4s to support weight, to put it at angles and stuff like that. But I don't know that I ever actually got inspiration from people so much as I'd see something and go, I want something like that. I should make that.
Mm-hmm.
And now, which I think, I'm pretty sure I said this too, but now it's kind of funny that when we think of something, we see something, and instead of saying, I want to buy something like that, we kind of look at it and go, I want to make something like that.
Yeah.
And which I think is really cool when you can step into somebody's house and a lot of the furniture they have, you can't say, where'd you get that? The answer is usually, well, I made this time, or I did this time, or this is the first time I ever tried doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of cool because it goes from putting random stuff from a place you went to once in your life to, oh, well, I saw this and I wanted one, so it's a conversation piece that's functional. It's not a tchotchke in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with tchotchkes,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of like when you can go, oh, I made that out of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my apartment, I'm starting to make more and more, because I can't, it's hard for me to bring myself to go buy something, especially when I can make it.
You're like, I can't afford
Yeah.
it. I can't afford it. I need all these tools.
Yeah, because if it's a piece of furniture, and if I'm trying to be cheap, I'm like, well, my only option is going to like Walmart or Target and getting like particle board made.
Crap.
Yeah, and it's like I can't bring myself to buy that stuff when I know what good quality
What's the funny-
furniture looks like and why it's made the way it is.
To not downplay that, if you can only afford Walmart furniture, there's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with it.
actually,
but you have to
there's nothing wrong with that.
You have to take super good care of it. But a lot of times I remember
Can't put
going,
anything on it.
don't breathe, don't inhale at certain times. No, but when we got dressers, my wife got a cheap Walmart one for my son, and I got the one for our bedroom. And the Walmart room broke.
Mm-hmm.
And we found we're in Yuma, they have a place called the Oak Tree, and it's a lot of those really high end furniture places. They'll have stuff that's made out of like laminate wood, which is basically plywood
Yeah.
with a veneer finish, and the stuff looks pretty good, and it's a lot more sturdy, and it's usually not that much more expensive than the stuff you'd find at Walmart.
Yeah.
Granted, they only have like 4 different styles of it, but if you don't like the style, sand it down and stain it another color.
Mm-hmm.
That's not style, but you can accent it or do whatever you want with it. But that's what I thought was really cool is when I realized I'm paying $85 versus paying $125,
Yeah.
or $95 versus $115, and you can go get something that's made out of real wood that if you mess up, you're a layer of sand. You're 30, 45 minutes of sanding away from, and we're at a blank slate again. I could do this.
Yeah.
If you want to paint it or stain it or burn it, whatever you want to do to it, you have that availability. Whereas if you scratch a Walmart, like something made out of particle board with the paper veneer finish, you're going to have to marker it up, and you can see that after a while.
Yeah.
So,
I think
and a lot of people don't know that as well, saying that.
I think if I was to go out and buy furniture, I'd want to go to like an antique store or like secondhand store, because majority of the time that furniture is solid wood, and yeah, it's going to take some time to refinish it, but in the end, it's custom too.
And we saw we were at the hospice thrift store, and for I think it was $300, $375. It was an entertainment center. And it was a huge entertainment center, and I was like, "Well, what's the big deal about this?" She's like, "It's solid ash." It was solid ash.
Yeah,
Everything on it. I was like, "That is awesome. If I had somewhere to put it, I would totally buy this." But I mean, that thing's expensive as hell.
It's a nice piece of ash.
A nice piece of ash. I'd watch that.
We have some ash in our shop.
ashes.
So much ash.
And there was the jingle.
And the
again.
jingle. Crap. I blame that one on somebody, not myself. It's American. I don't blame myself. So we go to next up. Dale, you got something?
I don't know.
Don't be afraid.
I'm sure everybody's probably already tired
might
of
This is
judge
a
you,
safe
but-
space.
hearing
Not
my
really.
cynicism.
No, please.
No,
More
yeah.
cynicism.
Oh.
More
okay.
cynicism.
Um,
More cowbell.
Man.
Just be you,
Just
Dale.
keep talking, and I'll come up with one.
I'm not your monkey.
I
I'm not like your monkey. Talk, monkey, talk.
Dance.
That was an awesome smoker's laugh, by the way.
What's that saying in Spanish? Yo no soy tu chango, cabrón.
I don't think that's a Mexican saying,
Oh,
but okay.
I was taught that.
Who taught you that?
Um,
If you say a Mexican, I'm gonna throw something at you.
It was.
A white person? Okay, cool.
No.
What's the proper way to say it there?
What?
Tubs.
No, you said it the right way.
Oh,
I
did
just don't think
you?
it's the same in Spanish.
Oh.
Oh. Well, from the guy that taught it to me, it was his thing.
Oh, okay. Well, it's cool. It depends on the person. Everybody has different sayings. Mine is dos cervezas, por favor.
So you speak fluent Spanish, right?
Yes.
You don't break it up with English words here and there?
Spanglish.
Spanglish? Yeah, when I talk to my sisters or when I talk to family, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But fluent Spanish, no. I usually just speak Spanish and white people to make people around me more comfortable. Because a lot of times, like, I've always, my mom's always taught me that it's rude to speak another language if people around you can't understand you. And me and mom do it a lot. Because we forget, and in our house when I was younger, I always spoke Spanish. Like, for example, I didn't learn how to speak English until I was in kindergarten. So my mom always taught me it was rude to do that. And I kind of picked up on that it was rude. So when there's anybody that speaks another language, I usually stick to English because most people understand English. Unless I'm translating for somebody. But
I've
enough
tried.
about me.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't not think of anything to talk about.
I have...
You can.
I know you can talk about, Dale.
Huh?
Where do you think your fascination with skulls came from?
Skulls? I actually don't have a fascination with skulls. I honestly do not.
So...
You just,
I know that doesn't seem right, but
Do you find
the
it
only
more-
huh?
No, go ahead.
I'd say it as long as I've been drawing stuff and sculpting, I would say until I actually got interested in trying to do things anatomically correct, I never really tried to draw much skulls. I mean, I drew cartoon skulls, but other than that, I never.
I think your cat's calling bullshit. So it's more of a structure thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because there's some artists I know that do what they consider more scary stuff, and they're just obsessed with drawing skulls. They always gotta draw skulls on everything.
Well,
They wear shirts with
there's
skulls
a certain,
on
like,
them. And,
macabre to a skull.
yeah,
Didn't
they're fascinating. Like if you look at all the different types of skulls from people around the world, I mean, people with birth defects and some people with diseases and different. What? You made a face.
No, when you said,
different races
I
of
thought you were going
people,
with a
it's-
different.
It's definitely fascinating as far as anatomy goes. How different everybody could be.
No, the face was. I thought you were going with cultural, because when you look at like different cultures, the way they draw, the way they what's the word present, the way they interpret, the way they. There's a name for it.
Oh.
There's a word that I can't think of.
Sounds like
It sounds like the way portray the other way different cultures portray skulls. I think is really cool. Like that's what I thought you were going for, and then you said
okay.
people with disease and stuff.
Well,
But that's what I thought. Like the different types of skulls that are in your room right now. Some of them are culturally different, just because they come from different areas.
yeah.
The Mexican sugar skull is not going to look anything like a Japanese
There's
bronze something skull.
The painting I did up on the wall, it's a skull with a ice cream sundae on top of its head. I call that the American sugar skull.
That's awesome. Me es gusta. Yeah, no, that was my skull. That was my skull. That was my question to you. Do you have any questions for me?
where if you could be an animal,
If I could be an animal.
Do you hate that question? Have you ever got that?
Yeah,
have you ever
if
had
you-
that
if you could
asked
be
in
an
an
animal.
interview?
An interview, a job interview?
Yeah.
No.
No, I've
I
never.
didn't interview for jobs.
What
I'm
kind of
just
job
really
did
good.
you interview for?
No, I've known people that
We know you're
have
trying
been
to work
asked
it-
that before.
Really?
If
What
you
can
could
you-
be an animal, what would it be and why?
That is weird.
Right?
What can you
And
do
you
for the
thought I was
McDonald's
for
team?
collecting cat
Also,
whiskers.
what animal would you be?
Huh?
What could you do for the McDonald's team? Also, what animal do you want to be? What animal? I would be a honey badger because of the commercial. Only because of the commercial.
Not because you're badass.
They are pretty badass.
They're smart.
Not
They're
commercial,
really
'cause of the
smart.
video.
I watched a documentary about them, and they put them in this kind of pen. Like, with the walls around them were like maybe 4 or 5 feet tall, I think. And the honey badgers are actually grabbing sticks and stuff and piling them up in the corner so they can climb out.
Stupid
Damn.
humans.
Yeah.
Where you go, asshole? Just trying to live life.
Yeah.
I got shit to do.
What animal would you be, Dale? A fucking liger. I don't know why I wanted you to answer that. Oh, a unicorn. Does that have to be a real animal?
Hey, it's your world.
I'd want to. I think it'd be awesome to fly.
Why would you like to say that in a job
But-
interview? You know, I want to be a unicorn.
No, I would say a griffin. But go on.
It'd be awesome to be something that flies.
That's what I
But
thought. Griffin.
also, it'd be really cool to be some kind of deep sea creature to go as deep as you could.
You would
But
be
when
a
I still have
kraken.
my
Like the
own,
Kraken?
You'd be a kraken.
yeah,
Your own
my own like
mind.
brain and
I think so.
consciousness with my same
You know, that's
curiosity.
probably where the kraken comes from.
What?
Like, the next life of somebody was like, just fuck it. Let's just take out these boats, man. Let's just attack things because I'm
Yeah.
really big. Those things attack whales.
Yeah.
The giant squid.
Oh,
Yeah, they attack whales.
Yeah.
They
You
gotta
know how
eat
much balls
too.
you have to attack a fucking whale?
Yeah, there's a lot of sperm whale with the like scars on their heads and everything
Yeah.
from the tentacles and the giant squids.
Taking you down, no. But yeah, then I changed my answer to griffin.
Huh.
Yeah, I get to be a tiger, or a lion, or whatever that is.
It's a griffin.
And
It's
then-
kind of a. It's a
Well,
mix.
no, but then I get to fly.
Uh-huh.
So 2 birds. Like if you could be any superhero, who would you be? Wonder Woman.
I'd be
Because you
the
get to experience
eagle.
being a woman and a superhero.
I'd be the eagle. No, I wouldn't. America.
What would you be?
I'm gonna be an eagle. They always look scared if you look at them face on.
Yeah.
Like from the side, majestic as hell. And then dead on, confused. Yeah.
Or they're trying to figure out how to eat you. I can take
Shark,
you
man.
out. Ooh,
Sharks
great
are
white.
mean.
Be
Great white shark.
megalodon.
Oh yeah. Because who's gonna try to eat that thing?
Nobody.
Oh wait, unless there's
Unless they're trying
that's
to
the
be shark
biggest
too.
or recorded, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like kind of like megalodon teeth, like it's the size of a full-grown man's hand.
Dang.
Crazy. I'd love to see one. Oh, that'd be going back to your first question.
yeah.
To go back in time and see something, it'd be to see a megalodon. That'd be
Yeah.
crazy and scary.
Ooh, it'd be cool to witness Blackbeard.
Yeah. Blackbeard would be awesome.
For me, animal. The walking stick lizard. No. Did you ever hear about that?
No.
It's a lizard that walks around with a stick, and boom, when it gets hot, they put it in the ground, and then they crawl up it. You never
So
heard
you
that?
pick the old
at
man
work?
of animals?
No, you never.
Whole Vulcan
You never.
lizard.
No, you never heard that out at work
No.
when they mess with people. They say that we got some walking stick lizards, or stick lizards, or something like that out here.
Oh, I think I got a topic.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just gonna cut out all that.
When it
desert.
comes to like creating or art, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it would just be artist block. What do you guys do about it? If you, because
I
like,
unblock it.
yeah, I mean, because the desire and the want or need to create doesn't go away, but just not being able to come up with something can be really frustrating. So, I wonder, how do you guys deal with that?
Well, being the best artist in this group, I feel like
Please enlighten us.
I'm
A
kind of a
wise one.
self-taught artist, so I don't know. Rachel,
Well, Tubbs.
you answer and I'll evaluate.
Oh,
you.
Tubbs kicked it off, and now
I love my non-judgmental friends.
You got artist
Did
block
you get
right now?
that? Did you catch that?
I thought you were trying to get out a song before you started the school.
What I do is I just step back. Like I just don't do anything for a while until I get back to it or get that inspiration.
You just let it take a natural break.
Yeah, I have to because I've tried to force myself in the past, and it never works out. So I've learned I'm not good at that. I need to stop, and so I just step away and do something else to distract my mind, to keep my mind off of it, and then eventually I'll just get that feeling or the desire to. Or that image, like I've talked about in the past podcasts, like, oh, I need to do it this way. It's like, shit. Okay, cool. Got it. Done. And then I'll go and do it, and it's over with. But, yeah, for me, it involves taking a break and doing something else to distract myself.
You hit on something there that is off topic right now. Well, I wrote it down.
Okay.
But I do think it's kind of important. I heard a phrase, or a saying, or whatever you want to call it, of somebody told me, and it kind of meant a lot to me, and I thought it was funny. I know when you just like, we're gonna start a business, this is how we're gonna do it, and you start on it, you beat the crap out of yourself. And I mean, you still do a lot to an extent, but you were juggling a lot more stuff. And when I with work and stuff, and when I do that, every once in a while I'll get to a point where I'll get it done, and then like for the next couple of days I'm beat to shit. And the expression I heard, or the phrase, or whatever you want to call it, the saying, is if life hands you your ass back, if life hands your ass to you, you need your ass back for a while. And sometimes it's just that kind of like you're pushing too hard, and you're trying to make something work that just isn't going to work. And there are times that I've heard you describe, like there's some times where this cut is not going the way it's supposed to be going. And I think it is kind of important to step back and say, if you smoke, go have a cigarette. If you drink, go have a drink. Well, you don't have to get drunk, but I mean, just step away from it, go inside, relax, watch TV, take a shower, do something to get your mind completely away from what you're doing, and then approach it with fresh eyes. Because there are times where, and I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but you're in such a rush, or you're just trying to kind of make something work or fit this or cut that you get to the point where your mind's just fried, and it's the most nominal thing. And menial, nominal. I like big words.
What was that you said today?
Sometimes I like to use big words I don't understand, so I sound more photosynthesis. But it's the most menial thing that sound mind you would have thought of in an instant, but you're just fried from doing either the same task over or just trying to get it to this micrometer. And I think it is really important that sometimes if something's kicking your ass, it's because it needs to kick your ass. Not all the time. I mean, this is hard, stop. But I mean, not all the time is it that case, but every once in a while, if you're doing the same thing and you're getting the exact same result, just fucking stop. Walk away, go smoke, do something. I smoke, I keep saying that. I'm not saying you should smoke, I'm just saying I do. And then come back to it. And I've noticed that, like the way you described, and that's not necessarily for block, because I don't do any art where I'm like, oh, the inspiration's not coming. Not to say that's shitty if you do, just, but when I am getting to a point where I'm like, I hate you, I hate everything. It's nice it is legitimately nice to just step back and go, all right, if it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, it's not. Me sitting there trying to beat the wall with my head is not gonna do anything better. So off topic, but
no, not really. It kind of went along with it.
There's when Tracy and I started doing the woodworking together, I got her. Well, I had this belief that the wood's going to do what it wants to do.
And now you're like, the wood will do what I fucking tell it.
Wood's gonna wood.
And
hashtag wood life.
And so if something's not going right, what I believe
you should make sure that says wood grain matters.
Right. To what I believe should be going, the wood's gonna be like, nah, I think you should be doing this. And so it's like, so we have Tracy and I saying, well, it's what the wood wanted to do. And it's like, yep, we're just gonna.
Board's all right.
Yeah. And so you learn, like, I know one of the things, so like that saying is something that we tell ourselves to just be like, well, It's what it wanted to do. And you just kind of, in a way, you let go of it. Let go of that tension or the anxiety of, oh, it's not going right. It's like, well, it's doing what it wants to do. And it's like, well, fuck it.
Speaking of frying your brain, if the wood's talking to you, maybe stop for a while.
Hey, if it wants to talk to me, please tell me.
How's your day, Rachel? Well, you know. Going
Stop
through stuff.
cutting me.
You're not,
Why are you shaving me one layer at a time? You're a monster.
well, I used to tell people, like, well, when I used to go out to the sand dunes, when I had a nice quad, I don't anymore. Anyways,
So what's that like?
please tell me
That
more.
seemed to make you sad. Let's
Tell us
hear
how
it.
you used to have fun.
So when I learned how to ride in the dunes, it's like, I told you, go with the sand, go with the natural movement or the natural.
But sands are like this big.
I don't
Sand
mean,
dunes.
I don't mean to be that guy.
Uh-oh.
You don't have a fucking choice. What are
Right.
you gonna do? Fight the sand dunes? They win every time.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you go against something that is natural, like, hey, I'm doing this. If you're not going to go with me, so sorry.
I get the spirit of the phrase, but when people say that, I'm like, you can't go against a building. You're gonna lose. Go around the building.
Yeah, like nature, you can't go against nature. You can put up all the dams you want, but if she's like, nah, I feel like this isn't working out for me.
Don't
Don't
get
like
some
it.
damn bait.
So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's a way of thinking that I've kind of I've ingrained to myself that to let it go and just go with it.
Oh. And the topic was, when it comes to artist block, how do you stop it or get past it? So you go with it.
Go with it,
Or you
let it
stop.
go. Yeah, stop or just walk away
away.
and do something
Dale?
else.
You're a sculptor.
Yeah. Well, as we discussed in one of the last episodes, not everything I do is original, but when I do,
But it is custom.
yes, so custom, so many custom.
So many custom here.
But even if it's my own version of something, I still want it to be as original as possible. And when I get the idea in my head, like I was talking about earlier, when I think of something, I got to do it. But when I can't do it, it just drives me nuts. It's like if I do try to take a break and just, okay, I'm just going to let it sit, and I'll go sit on my couch and watch Netflix or try to watch YouTube videos or something. It never leaves my brain. So,
Have you considered heavy alcohol use?
no, not really.
No.
I just throw up.
I think I'm using it wrong. I'm joking. Don't drink. Or do. Either way.
But, yeah. It's still something I deal with. Because I do sometimes, not all the time, but when I really feel that need to make something, it can get really frustrating not being able to complete the project that I got in my head. It's like swimming against the stream, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something I still deal with.
I guess I know that feeling on a timeline front. When I want to finish something that weekend, I set like miniature kind of not landmarks, but miniature steps.
Goals.
Yeah, like miniature goals where if I want it to be this by Sunday, Friday I'm going to work on this, and this. That should get me to the point where on Saturday I can do this, and this, and be almost completely done, and then Sunday I can do the finishing work. And there are times where stuff's just not working out, and I don't do what Rachel says and just go with the flow.
Yeah.
I try to make it work the way I want it to.
Yeah, me too.
And it doesn't. And that's so I guess from that front, it is really frustrating when you're like, you have one job, be what I want you to be. Why are you making that difficult? And so yeah, I don't know. I don't really do anything artistic to this. Most of the time, I'm just trying to refinish something because I haven't like an end result where I want it, but I'm not making stuff from scratch. And the stuff I do make from scratch, it's not. I want a oak and cherry chair with this kind of upholstery. Most of the time, it's people. Mostly my wife or four friends says, can you make me these hangers? Or can you make me this table? Or can you make this? And I have kind of a liberty to do whatever I want to do. And I'll say, I want it to have this feel to it. So this is what I'm going to use, or this is what I'm going to try to get together. I want a bookshelf made. What do you want it to look like? Just make sure it doesn't match. Just make sure it's not chartreuse and cream, because all furniture in the house is darker wood. Okay, cool. So I have the liberty of kind of doing whatever I want. So I don't think I have a complete style, because on my front, when I get to the point where I'm getting close to finishing something, I'm going to have to do something where it comes into design. I can just kind of go, this will work, or this will work. This is what I have in front of me. This is what I can do right now. That's what I'm going to put together. So like that's why I kind of feel a disconnect on the artist block front. That was Dale's neck that you just heard.
Is it still attached?
I'm good,
It's
guys.
floating.
Bobblehead.
But that's why I feel like an odd disconnect. But I know the feeling of being frustrated at something not working. Pretty much describes me 24/7. Rachel's doing
there was
stuff
that
I
jingle
understand.
again.
I don't think we've referenced the jingle at all. As
What?
far as what it is, the jingle.
Yeah, we did.
Did we last podcast?
episode or the episode before? Yeah, I think it was the last episode.
Okay, never mind. Then never mind. You guys already know. And if you don't, check out last episode.
Oh no, I'm gonna put it in there. It's gonna be there.
Awesome. So many fun. Is there
Well,
anything that else?
I am all out of topic.
Oh man.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna have to write one down for next time.
Yes, for the next
All right.
podcast.
So we're gonna call it quits there.
I think so. I think we covered a lot.
Yeah. We've lulled them to sleep.
Night night.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you.
We'll see you in the. You'll hear us in the next episode.
You'll hear us in the next episode.